RunDisney proof of time. Do you need it? What's it for? And how do you submit it? Let's talk RunDisney proof of time. We're breaking into do you need it, what's it for, and how do you submit it. So if you're new to RunDisney, first big question is, do I need proof of time? Answer is no. While we'll get into why proof of time helps, it is not necessary to have a proof of time for a RunDisney race. RunDisney does do open registration, which means there are no requirements other than they expect you to be able to keep the 16-minute per mile pace from the start of the last corral. But for those who have a proof of time, it is an advantage that lets you get into an earlier corral, start earlier, and move at a faster set of paces. I'm going to take a quick second and say if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can check us out over on Patreon. We do launch videos early, give some exclusive content. Also have been sharing some different designs for some future merchandise, and just have a lot of great conversation with our Patreon members over there. So you can check that out at patreon.com/mousegen. Now, if you're someone that really needs to read and dive into this, I highly recommend you check out Amanda's page, Once Upon a Marathon. She has an entire page dedicated to proof of time breakdown, and I'm actually using quite a bit of her information provided to do this video. So shout out to her. She has a wealth of information and is overall just fantastic in the community. Now, when you register for a RunDisney race, it is going to ask you to give an expected finish time for the designated race that you were signing up for. If that race distance is 10 miler or further, so 10 miler, half marathon, or marathon, and you put below a certain threshold, it is going to prompt you to input a proof of time. What that proof of time is a verified race result from a certified course. It does not have to be a RunDisney race, but it can be. RunDisney does not accept self-timed, training, or virtual races for these proof of times. They have to be a verified race. In general, we will stick with the half marathon proof of time, but we will get into the other requirements. But the 2-hour, 30-minute time for a half marathon is the minimum time needed to put a proof of time in. For 10 milers and half marathons, you can submit 10Ks, 10 milers, half marathons, and full marathons for proof of time. For the marathon or dopey, you need to submit a 10 miler, a half marathon, or a marathon result. Typically, you do also have a time limit for when this needs to be submitted. While you do not have to do it the day you register, typically the proof of time registration closes around 6 months or before the race. For instance, for the 2026 Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, you had to have your proof of time submitted by July 1st, 2025. Now, the RunDisney website is a little bit vague about what these requirements are or how conversions work, and quite frankly, they just say they use a well-known conversion, but they don't mention which one. Now, it is believed that they use the McMillan conversion, or at least that gives you a pretty close result. And again, referencing Once Upon a Marathon, she has this really great chart for the maximum pace you would need to go per these distances to achieve that proof of time. This is looking at the conversion for half marathon results, but the marathon, dopey, and goofy converts everything to a marathon conversion and then goes off of that, which is why it requires a larger distance to submit a proof of time. Once again, that half marathon proof of time cutoff is 2:30. For the marathon, it is 5 hours, and then for the 10 miler, it is 1:55. Now, how does this all help? Well, easy solution, it gets you a better corral. Now, why this is important is because RunDisney lets you start the races in waves, and those waves are called corrals. They also will split those up into some mini waves as well, but you'll have corral A, B, C, D, E, F. Some races will go beyond that, but usually around F or G is where it goes to. If you have the earlier corral, like corral A or B, you will be starting the race earlier. Now, in order to let those faster runners go and move through the race at their desired pace, they use proof of time to allow those faster runners into earlier corrals. I have here a list of various proof of times that were collected from my Instagram. Thank you to those that submitted that. And you can see here basically the related times as well as what corral. Now, for half marathons, it looks like if you have a proof of time, you are more than likely going to be in B or A. There is no guarantee or magical number that guarantees you in a corral. Now, right now, it looks like around a sub 2 will usually get you into A, but but there are some cases that people have reported where it's been B, or I've had people that have been right on that cusp that have flopped between A and B for different races, more than likely depending on the volume of that race and the capacity of the corral. Talking about proof of time and corrals for the marathon more specifically, proof of time can get you in C, B, or A. You may also get split corrals. You may be A for the 5K, 10K, but you may be B for the half marathon and marathon. And you can see on this chart here, again, there's not a magic number, but somewhere around that sub 150 half looks to be where you're going to be able to get into corral A. But again, that number can change and there are no guarantees there. I should also mention that your proof of time does expire. So looking at Springtime Surprise Weekend, which is the most recent registration, which I will go through and put my proof of time in for you and show you what that looks like. The current proof of time window for that is from January 1st, 2023 until January 5th, 2026, which coincides with Springtime's proof of time being due January 5th. So let's go through and submit a proof of time. I'm going to be doing my proof of time for Springtime Surprise Weekend. I'm going to be submitting a half marathon result. Now, to prompt the proof of time, you select that you will be running faster than a 1:55 10 miler, which also indicates proof of time is required. That is going to open up the boxes to fill in your proof of time. So we've selected that we need the proof of time. Then you need to go and find your race result that you want to submit for a proof of time. My most valid half marathon race time is the Celebration Half Marathon from January of 2023, about to expire unfortunately, but we will go to our race results for that page and put in my name and get those results. You will need all of that information as well as the URL link. We'll go through, submit the date here. Then you also need to put information about the race, including the city, state, country. Then you put your verified chip time from that race. And then below that, there is a link for a URL. So I will copy that URL where I just took that information and put it right in there. And then we go ahead and hit save. And it is as easy as that to put your proof of time in. Now again, for those that have a valid proof of time, it absolutely helps. That is how most of my race videos, we are usually in the wide open, very little lines for characters if you choose to stop. But again, it is not absolutely necessary. You can run a RunDisney race, walk a RunDisney race, or however you choose to get to the finish line. That is totally valid, and you can do that without a proof of time. My recommendation is wait until you are registered, you have paid to do your proof of time. You can go back and change it up until that proof of time date is due. So I will always go and get Katie registered for races, and then we'll go back in later that day or the next day and submit my proof of time. Another fun benefit is that your bibs actually will correspond with your place when you have proof of time based on where other proof of times are. So mine usually stay really consistent where I'm 20,000 is usually the challenge bibs, and then I'm bib 37, 21, 23, 28. So it is kind of cool because you do kind of see where you stack up against other proof of times in there. And it's kind of just a little fun detail that you can pick up on. Now again, in this video, there's some speculation, there's some assumptions, so not everything is always 100% consistent. I use the information that is as accurate as I can possibly make it up to today as of recording this, but things always change. The numbers to get into different corrals can change, race sizes can change, which also can affect that. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. And again, RunDisney is still a little bit vague about it. As you can see again from the RunDisney website, if you do have questions, they do have a Track Shack email link that you can put. And again, linked right down below is Once Upon a Marathon's proof of time guide. Pretty much everything I've covered and more in writing for you if you need to go back and review that. Absolutely phenomenal resource. But that is pretty much the basics of proof of time. If you have used RunDisney proof of time, I am collecting some of that data, so feel free to drop what your proof of time is and what corral and race that corresponded to. I will add that to my chart. For the charts I showed you here, I did have a pretty low sample type, so having some more information definitely would be very useful in the future. And also, if you're training for a RunDisney race, let us know which weekend you'll be at, what races you're training for. Whether it's your first or your 100th, we can't wait to see you there, and happy training. But that is going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that fun YouTubey stuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.